What's up guys, my name is Matthew and today I have decided that I'm going to start a horror reading blog. Four books that I've been sitting on my shelf for literally months on months that I need to get through. Honestly, I literally have no idea what most of them are about. I know maybe a sentence or two to explain it, but that's about it. The first one I'm gonna read is called Kill Creek, and from what I know, it's about four really famous horror authors who get an invitation to go out to this haunted house and spend the night there and be interviewed, and while they're there, scary things happen. Great description, I know, but that's literally all I know, but it sounds like a lot of fun. Other book I'm gonna read is called The Troop. This one I'm actually the most scared about and the most dreading because from what I know, it's about a bunch of Boy Scouts who go to the wilderness. Once they get out in the wilderness, weird parasites or some weird creature makes them start wanting to eat people. So apparently you get bit and it makes you like a cannibal. That's from what I understand, what I've heard about from other people on BookTube. Just creatures and bugs in general freak me out, so I know this book is going to be literally horrifying for me. The third book I want to read is The Cabin at the End of the World. This book, from what I understand, is about a gay married couple and their daughter who go out to the woods, and once they go out to the woods, there's this home invasion. I heard it's pretty terrifying, and I heard split mixed reviews with this. I heard some people love it and some people hate it because apparently the ending is ambiguous, but I'm excited to read this one. And it's fairly short, which is nice because some of these books are freaking long. The last book I'm planning on reading is Mexican Gothic, and I know very little about this book. I know that it's set in 1950s Mexico, and a lady gets a letter from her cousin, maybe, saying that she's in danger and she needs help. So our protagonist goes out to a mansion, and that's about all I know. I've heard also mixed reviews on this. I heard it's very good, but I heard that it's very slow, especially in the beginning. So a little concerned about this one. I'm scared I'm not gonna like this one. I think I'm gonna like Kill Creek the most because it's the most interesting idea, but four famous authors all being trapped in a house and things go wrong. I think next, I'm gonna like Cabin at the End of the World because I'm all about ambiguous endings. A lot of people hate them, but I think they're so fun, and like whenever there's an ambiguous ending, you end up thinking about the books way longer, trying to theorize, what the author was trying to get across with that ambiguous ending. So I think I'm gonna like this one. As for the one I'm gonna like next, I'm gonna say Mexican Gothic. While I think the premise sounds really interesting, I'm just scared it might be a little too slow because I heard it really wasn't that scary. So I'm a little concerned about this one, but I think I'm gonna like it more than The Troop because like I said, bugs crawling in my skin that make me want to eat other humans is literally terrifying, and I'm dreading this book. But Gabby at Gabby Reads, I trust her because she is really good at recommending thrillers, and this is her favorite book. So Gabby, please don't be wrong and make me want to die. All right, but I'm super excited to start this. I'm gonna start with Kill Creek. If I'm being honest, I'm probably gonna be reading books in between this, so this blog might stretch for a long period of time because I have a feeling I'm gonna need a break in between all of these books. But I'm gonna start Kill Creek tonight, and I will update you as I go forward. So I'm about 100 pages into Kill Creek, and I'm really enjoying it. Nothing scary has really happened in the book, but the author's doing a good job of developing the characters and making us actually care about them, explaining all of the characters' insecurities, which I think will play out throughout the book and kind of play into the horror aspects of the book. We've also learned about the history of the house, which is very interesting. And where I'm at right now is that we just got to the house. So we're kind of getting a feel for what the house is like and how the different authors are going through the beginning stages of experiencing supernatural or weird occurrences. What I like the most so far about the book is that the four authors each have very, very different personalities and styles of writing. And they're constantly making fun of each other and taking jabs at criticizing the other's way of writing horror, which has been kind of funny and interesting to read about. My favorite of the four authors so far is definitely the female author, Moore, because she is a boss-ass bitch and she is not taking shit from these men, and it is great. Also, this is a great angle for me. Like, what? So I'm on chapter 21, about 2/3 of the way through. And honestly, it's really not what I was expecting. I was expecting this book to be about a haunted house and all of these people are going to be trapped in a haunted house and weird shit was going to happen at the house. But they were really only at the house for a few chapters and then they went back to their regular lives. And then slowly the house is haunting them. It's following them. And if I'm being honest, I'm pretty bored and I'm not scared at all. But hopefully things pick up. But right now I'm literally so bored and this is not scary. I'm gonna have some wine to hopefully make this book more interesting. Maybe if I'm drunk, I'll be scared. So it's a little bit later. I had my healthy meal of Easy Mac and half a bottle of red wine, living my fit fam life. But anyway, I'm still bored. I am on part 4. I have about 100 pages left. We're starting to learn why these, I don't want to do any spoilers, but we're starting to learn why these things are happening to the 4 authors, and all the 4 authors have come back together. And I guess scary things have happened, but I am not scared in the slightest. I'm, like I said before, pretty bored. But with the 100 pages left, I think they're going back to the house. And please, 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 I want shit to happen. Like, I want scary things to happen. I'm bored. But yeah, 100 pages left, and hopefully this shit picks up. I'm ready for the next book, if I'm being honest. I just finished Kill Creek. It is very late. The last 100 pages did pick up. I'm gonna be honest, I still was never scared. There was never a point in this book that I was scared, and I don't think I'm ever gonna think about this book again. That being said, I think the author did a great job with character development. I think that was the strongest part of the whole book. I just really didn't feel like there was much horror going on. And if you've read the book, the last 100 pages are super horror-y with its very typical tropes, but it just didn't do it for me. I'm gonna be honest, this book didn't do it for me. I'm gonna give it 3 stars just because I think the writing was very well done and I think the character development was great. But as for horror, I'm hoping the next book scares me. So I think I'm gonna jump into The Troop because I can't imagine that not being terrifying. So I got to chapter 12 of The Troop and I'm enjoying it. Not too much has happened so far. We have met the infected man that escaped from some sort of governmental facility and he has some sort of disease that's making him super hungry and he's just eating anything he can get his hands on. But up to chapter 12, we've really just been kind of being introduced to the boys in the troop and the troop leader, Tim. And honestly, like in the first chapter, Tim was talking about how each of the different boys smelled. Like, yeah, and I was like, what the fuck am I reading? But it's gotten better and it's not weird. I was like, this is about to take a really weird turn. But other than that, I'm enjoying it. Out of all the boys in the troop, they're all shitheads. Only like one of them, the little nerd Newt, who's actually like, the author has journal entries for all the boys, and Newt's journal entry is so sad and just so heartbreaking. And Newt's the only one I care about. All the other ones can die from this disease, but so far no one's died, and they're just trying to figure out what's happening with this guy, and Tim, the scoutmaster, has him tied up and make so he can't harm any of the boys. But I have a copy of the audiobook from Libby, so I've been able to listen to a lot of it while at work, and I'm hopefully be able to finish this book in a day. I'm bored, so we're gonna go scare my coworker. All right, let's go. I just finished chapter 13 and I am unwell. That was the most disturbing description. So I'm about halfway through the book. Yeah, it's pretty fucking gross. And like, I can't even tell if it's good or not. I'm just really grossed out. But I'm about to go get some drinks, get some dinner, and if I'm not too tipsy, hopefully I can finish this book tonight. I just got back. We went to a new hotel that opened up that has a really cool bar, as I showed in the video before. And afterwards, we went and had some dinner at an Israeli restaurant. And now I've read a little bit more of The Troop. I just want to say a huge trigger warning that I didn't know about. There's incredibly strong, detailed animal torture in this book. And one of the kids is a complete fucking sociopath. And I'm having to skip pages because it's making me really sick. Like, more nauseous than the parasites that are eating people alive. Like, this is, well, like, he's just, like, killing kittens. Like, what? No. It's the next day, and I just finished The Troop, and I'm conflicted. Would I ever recommend this book to another human being? No. Did I enjoy it? I think I did, which I'm kind of shocked that I enjoyed this book because it was disgusting and made me very angry, but I was never bored. So unlike Kill Creek, I was never bored throughout this book. I was very invested. And actually, the second half of the book was so strong that I was so invested in these kids and I was really rooting for some of them. Some of them I was very happy to read about their demise, but no spoilers. But some of the kids were just so sweet and it was heartbreaking to read about, honestly. And another thing I really liked about this book is that throughout the book, we're flash forwarding to the future and we're getting an explanation as to why this is happening on the island. Some horror books, you never really get an answer as to why all the bad things are happening. In this book, everything is fully fleshed out as to why, when, who caused all this torture and all these parasites on this island, which in my opinion makes it kind of scarier because it makes it more realistic in the sense that this could actually happen. But I really enjoyed this book. Will I ever read it again? Fuck no. Definitely gonna stay with me. It's definitely something I'm gonna think about. I'm gonna give it probably 4 stars. The second half was so strong. I really liked it. But it was also awful. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm about to start Cabin at the End of the World, and it's a short one, so hopefully I can get this out quick. Holy shit. I am done the first part on page 60, and that was fast. This is good. I'm into it. They're in the middle of the woods, no contact, creepy 4 people, kind of like that movie Strangers, but no masks, that kind of vibe. They showed up to the house. They just broke into the house. It's only been 60 pages. I'm already obsessed with the 2 dads and the little daughter. This is great. Please don't disappoint, book. I don't know if this is going to be supernatural. I think it may be supernatural because the people trying to break in are very like, we're not here to hurt you. We're here to save the world. Please listen to us. And you're just like, what the fuck? It's good. I'm here for it. Hopefully it continues. I just finished this book and I'm like really weirdly teary-eyed, and it wasn't because it was sad. I have a lot of thoughts about this book. I think the last video I made, I was saying I was loving it and how fun it was. I can't say anything about this book without giving it away, but I will say that throughout the book, I was very angry because I thought it was stupid. I thought it was just dumb, and I thought the plot line took a really weird turn. At the end of the book, the author breaks down every single chapter and every single reason he put certain things into the book, and I'm just so impressed. And it really made me think, and when people say this book has an ambiguous ending, what they really should say is this book is ambiguous. Everything about this book is ambiguous. There are no answers. And thankfully the author, is this crooked? Is this gonna be awful to watch? Thankfully the author did a great job of just expressing himself and expressing, this is a cheesy analogy, but it reminds me of the TV show Big Brother, when the people are sitting in the final 2 and they're forced to restate their gameplay and try to convince the jury of why they should win. the ending of the book has the author's notes, and he's trying to convince us of the story he just told, and he convinced me, and it was so good. This book was stupid. But it was good. And the author, I feel like I'm gonna go to sleep and have to talk more about it, but I have a lot of feelings, and I'm very impressed, but also kind of annoyed because that was the most ambiguous, no answered book I've ever read. It's a couple days later, and I am about halfway through Mexican Gothic. And when people say that this book is slow in the beginning, holy shit, is this book slow. Like, it doesn't even feel like a horror book, a thriller book. I feel like I'm just reading about a woman in the 1950s Mexico who goes and visits some in-laws. And like the in-laws are kind of rude. Maybe it's not scary. There's not much going on, and I'm so bored. But I heard from everybody, I'm sorry, this is so shaky. I've heard from everybody that it gets better, so I'm pushing through it, and so boring. But I'm gonna take a break and go downtown and have a few drinks with some friends and coworkers, and hopefully this book picks up because it's really, 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 really boring. Like what? How is this book so popular? What's up, guys? It's the next day. I drank way too much and I am struggle bussing over here, but I did manage to get to chapter 21 in Mexican Gothic, and actually it's cool. Like, it took up to chapter 19 for the real, reveal, or why are we here, what's going on behind the scenes, and it's actually a pretty cool twist. Why did it take 20 chapters for you to reveal this, or to even make this book even interesting at all? Like, it's really cool, I promise. It has a lot of Get Out vibes. It's finally starting to make sense. It's super spooky. It just took way, way, way too long. And I'm kind of upset that I had to read about 220 pages for it to actually get scary. And this is only a 300 and something page book. So almost finished. I do like where it's going. It just took way too long to get there. Also seem very aggressive. I think I'm just hungover. All right, I just finished Mexican Gothic. And guys, the last 100 pages were phenomenal. Like, why did the first 200 pages want to put me to sleep? If this book would have had the same pacing and the same just plot twists as the last 100 pages, it would have been an easy 5-star. I think I'm gonna probably have to give it a 3.5 just because I hadn't heard from other people on BookTube to just stick it out and wait till the end. Then I would have DNF'd this in a heartbeat because it was so boring at first. But it did not disappoint in the end. If you like the movie Get Out, for me, it had all the Get Out vibes. I mean, obviously the stories are a lot different, but if you read the book, you probably know what I'm talking about. But that concludes my reading vlog, my first horror reading vlog. And something I learned is that I'm so used to reading thrillers where I expect the author to tell me a story, shock me at the end, and then wrap up the story with a nice little bow so that I can, sleep at night. And I'm learning that horror books are not like that. Horror books are full of ambiguity, so you don't know what's going on, really dark, makes you think, and I don't know if I like it more than thrillers. I doubt it. All I know is that I definitely need a break from horror. I am not reading a single horror book in August. August, we're doing sunshine, rainbows, romance, beaches, no horror. But to wrap up everything I went through, I would say my favorite of all 4 of the books I read is The Cabin at the End of the World. And if you do read this book, please, please, please read what the author has to say about it, because it'll really just open your eyes to the book. And it's so short. While you're reading it, you might say, wow, this is really stupid. And go into it knowing that you will not know anything. And when you're finished the book, you will not know anything. And it's kind of awesome. It's kind of it was refreshing in the sense of like, wow, I just read this book and I really have no idea what just happened. The book that surprised me the most is definitely The Truth. I thought I was gonna hate this. I thought I was gonna have to DNF it because I was too freaked out. But the character development was so strong that it kind of helped out with, you know, the weird bugs, parasite. And I also liked how there was the background story of how the parasites came into existence, because I always like to know like what's going on and not just kind of that ambiguity that I see in a lot of horror books that I've read so far. The one that I'm really upset about was Kill Creek, because I really thought I was gonna like this one, but it was just so boring. And it's so upsetting because I really did like some of the characters in this book. I just felt like the plot, nothing happened. Like, oh, haunted house kind of haunted people, blah, that's it. 500 pages. All right, guys, but thank you guys so much for watching if you stuck to the end, and I hope to see you again soon.